Today, the 20th February 1982, is an auspicious day for the SICC. In a few minutes' time, we will be witnessing the official opening of the remodeled second line of the Sime course. The decision to remodel the second line Sime was taken by the 1979 to 80 General Committee under the presidency of Dr. Robert Lowe and the captaincy of Mr. James Lowe. A professional golf architects firm, Mr. Ronald Freem and Associates, was appointed. They submitted two plans for the remodeling. Plan A left the layout of the 10th hole and the 11th hole as it was. This means that golfers at the tee of the 11th hole cannot tee off until golfers have finished the putting on the 17th bukit green and have crossed the Sime 11th fairway to the 18th bukit tee. Plan B, on the other hand, by changing the Sime 10th from a par 3 to a par 4 and the 11th from a par 4 to a par 3, will eliminate completely this frustrating hold-up. The Greens Committee and the General Committee decided to adopt Plan A, thus perpetuating the hold-up at the second line of Sime. Mr. T.P. Tay was one of those members who saw the folly of such a decision. But he was the first man to take some positive steps to reverse the committee's decision. He initiated a move urging members to reject Plan A and adopt Plan B instead. At the EGM held to adopt the plan for remodeling Sime second line, a large crowd turned up. Everyone except one member voted to reject the committee's recommendation and opted for the Plan B instead. It was no surprise at all that when the new committee took office in September 1980 with Mr. Robert Lowe as president and Harry Dine as captain, the committee, on the recommendation of the captain, decided to appoint Mr. Tay as chairman of the ad hoc committee in charge of the remodeling of the second line of Sime. Other members were Mr. Lau Xiao Huat, Mr. Tan Pong Dun, Mr. Chiang Tiam Siu, Mr. Lim Ji Ching, Mr. Tan Po Huat, and Mr. Tan Hua Chong. Work started on the 18th of December 1980, and the main work of remodeling was completed in record time by the end of July 1981. Though the budget approved for the remodeling was $1,040,000, the expenditure up to July 1981 spent on the second Sime course came up to only $600,000. Of course, the usual amount of money will have to be spent after July 1980 in the routine maintenance and improvement to the fairways and greens as we wait for the fairways and greens to mature into a first-class course. This will take at least 2 to 3 years. TP has made multiple amendments to the original plan submitted by the consultant architect. But it must be emphasized that all these changes were implemented only after he had consulted the professional architect and only after approval had been given by them. Indeed, a member of the architects group has personally told me that the SICC is indeed lucky to have in TPT a good and stylish golfer, a well-read and imaginative course architect, and exemplary supervisor of staff, and a fanatical and dedicated worker himself. This is indeed a rare compliment by a professional to an amateur. We are now going to witness the opening of the course that TP and his committee has built for us.
With the assistance of a professional firm of architects to prepare plans. And 2 years later, in 1980, at the annual general meeting, the members approved the construction expenditure capital costs of $1 million. That year, I was elected captain, and I came in completely new to what had happened before. And the then members of the Green Subcommittee were produced these plans and told, get on with it. But I, being, as probably most of you now know, a very idle fellow, decided that the person to be put in charge must be somebody who had the dedication, the determination, and resolution and time. And this person, all of you know, Mr. T.P. Tay. All our thanks, yours and mine, must primarily go to Mr. T.P. and members of his subcommittee who have put in a lot of time on this project. In Mr. T.P. Tay's case, it's no exaggeration to say 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, plus 4 hours on Sundays to check on what was going on. This sort of dedication is very rare to be found in our club, but it has occurred in this case. Mr. T.P. Tay completed the major works at the end of July last year. Since then, there has been a period of consolidation, and when I was re-elected captain, I invited, since Mr. T.P. Tay decided not to stand for re-election, I invited Mr. Lau Sia Wat, the vice captain, to succeed him as chairman of this subcommittee. And my thanks again go to him and members of his subcommittee, who are principally the same as the former subcommittee under Mr. T.P. Tay.